Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is your host Majestic speaking, and today we're going to be looking into some more Mechwarrior Online here. In front of me I have the Archer 5W. This is my most recent favorite mech to take out there on the battlefield. And the reason being is because in case you guys aren't familiar with the Archer chassis or the 5W variant in particular, this is the missile boat variant. So obviously, we only have two choices, long-range missiles or short-range missiles, LRMs versus SRMs. And you guys can already guess it based off my playstyle. We're going short-range, baby. Skirmish Brawler mode is exactly what I converted this thing into, and I'm having an absolute blast with it. But before we dive into all the nitty-gritty details, we're going to go through everything. We're going to go through the hard points, the custom loadout, the quirks, 3 rounds of epic gameplay for you guys, and then ultimately close out with some final thoughts. So let's get started from the ground up here. Looking first at the hard points, we have 0 ballistic, 0 energy, 9 missile hard points, ladies and gentlemen. 9! That's insane! I'm still looking at that number just like, holy crap, that's a lot of missiles. 1 AMS hard point, nobody gives a fuck. And 0 ECM. So obviously, with those 9 missile hardpoints, I'm catering it to all short range, as I've already mentioned to you guys. As for the quirks, all it caters towards is LRM velocity, and you only get a 10% bonus for it. So regardless of what LRM you use, whether it's 5, 10, 15, or 20, you get a 10% bonus to the velocity. If you want to play it like that, go ahead. I decided to go, you know, what some people might consider troll mode and turn this thing into a short-range skirmish brawler. But it is fantastic. It's not trolly. If it's possible, do it. That's the reason why I did it, because I knew that if I wanted to mess around with this mech, 9 missile hardpoints, guys. I'm still, like, contemplating that in my head even now. This mech's been out for a while, but you know, to think back on it, 9 missile hardpoints is absolutely insane. And to think that and I said to myself, you know what? If I can somehow do more than SRM2s and fit, you know, either SRM4s or SRM6s, given the tonnage on this mech and the slots, if I could fill up every hardpoint and maintain decent heat management, I am going to do it. So guess what, ladies and gentlemen? I did it. And there you have it. 9 missile hardpoints, 9 SRM4s. 2 in each arm, 2 in each torso, and 1 in the center torso. 9 tons of ammo. We're going. The theme is 9 here, clearly. So 9 tons of ammo, 9 SRM4s. This thing is loaded to the T. And because of the fact that if you think back on the SRM4s, if you've ever played with them, I looked back on some of my old videos when I was using SRM4s, and you don't need Artemis for it. The weapon, the missile grouping for an SRM4 is pretty condensed and consolidated as it is. So to use Artemis, you'd be wasting tonnage and you'd be using up extra slots. Both, you know, 2 things that we really don't have any wiggle room with if we're going to fit 9 SRM4s in this thing. So obviously, as you can imagine, this thing is full to the brim with armor, except in the legs. But it does have the 9 SRM4s in there, so all the hard points are full. That was my critical point, is I made sure it had 2 things. And as I tell you guys pretty frequently, in my skirmish brawlers, you're looking for durability, speed, and loadout. Those are the 3 things that you have to take into consideration. And so obviously I knew if I could fit 9 SRM4s in there, I would be packing a serious punch. And without, you know, the Artemis in there, it was possible. If I had Artemis in there, I wouldn't have enough slots. I wouldn't have enough tonnage to work with. So obviously I think what it came out to was like 6 or something like that, or 7, some kind of strange number. I don't remember. Don't quote me on it. But that's all null and void at this point, because I've been experimenting with this guy for quite some time now, and I finally came up with it. I mean, I was going bits and pieces back and forth with what I wanted to do with it, but I finally landed on what I enjoy the most. And this thing is absolutely glorious out there on the battlefield. This thing is completely full to the brim, ladies and gentlemen. 70 out of 70 tons, 78 out of 78 slots, 416 out of 434 armor. I took 9 armor hard points out of each leg so that I could fit this extra heatsink in the left arm. And as I said, with heavies, you don't really need to worry about your legs as much as you do with a medium or a light. So that's why I said, you know what, we can afford to take some tonnage off the legs, maybe fit an extra heatsink in there, and it worked out perfectly. I filled up the last 3 slots, the last ton of space that I had on the mech, and, it added, better heat management. So I sacrificed a little armor in a place that isn't, really crucial to this mech. 16 double heat sinks. So not only is the heat management pretty decent, 1.25 is the ratio, so it is above that minimum threshold that I keep of 1.2, but it also has decent heat dissipation as well. 10 double heat sinks in the engine, 6 external, 1, 2, 3, and then 3 on top of the engine. Now, the reason why I placed this third one in the left arm as opposed to the right arm is because I like to peek with my right side. So if I'm using my right torso and my right arm, I'm usually hiding this half of my mech in cover. And if I do wind up firing these off, or if I do wind up losing this arm, I want to make sure that at least I, make it so that my losses aren't so critical or so overwhelming to the point where, not only would I be losing SRM4s, but I'd also lose some heat dissipation, heat management on there, which would kind of stink. So as you can imagine, I placed it in the left arm, and that made it all the more better of a build to take out there on the battlefield. 77.3 points of damage on an alpha, ladies and gentlemen. So think about that. 70 tons, 78 slots, 416 armor, 1.25 heat management, 16 double heat sinks, and a 77.3 point alpha. Holy Toledo, Kansas. That is absolutely insane. And this is the kicker. This is what really gets me. I fit the biggest XL engine in this thing that's possible. XL 340, ladies and gents. This thing goes 84.6 kph. So I hit every single point of what I want to do with my skirmish brawlers. I have durability. All of the armor is full from the legs up. Well, not the legs included, but all the torsos and the arms, the head, the center torso, everything is full to the brim. It has the speed, 84.6 kph. Again, the skill tree is completely full. This is a 100% completely mastered mech. And it has the DPS, or the damage. I'll just say damage. I'm not going to say DPS because it doesn't happen every second. But 77.3 points of damage. That is absolutely insane. So I touched every single critical, checkpoint of my checklist in order to make this thing into exactly what I consider my version of a skirmish brawler. Speed, durability, and damage. This thing is an animal. So with that being said, I know some of you might not agree with that XL 340, but if you try and put a standard 340 in there, you will have pretty much 0 tonnage left. Let's put it that way. You'll have a very, very limited loadout to work with, and that's not fun. So I figured, you know what, I'm gonna go all heavy with the armor, protect myself as much as I can, really load up on the DPS, but work with the XL engine. A lot lighter, carries more, slots with it, and this thing is completely full. As you can see, no Artemis, Endosteel, double heat sinks, and no ferrofibrous either. We don't have enough slots for that, and as I said, the Artemis is kind of useless in this regard because of the fact that the SRM4 grouping is pretty consolidated and condensed as is without Artemis. So I left it at that, and it's working wonders. So I'll just have to prove it out there for you guys on the battlefield. But before we actually do hit the battlefield, let's check out the modules. I'm only using one weapon type and one particular weapon type, SRM4. So obviously, given the fact that we have 2 weapon module slots, SRM4 range and SRM4 cooldown. Level 5 for both, so we get a 10% bonus to our range, a 12% bonus to our cooldown, so this thing can fire off pretty quick. It can only afford to do 1 full alpha before you need to do a little bit of a chain fire. You can group multiples, with the chain fire, but you cannot do 2 consecutive alphas. It's just way too hot. Advanced seismic sensor for my mech module, and my mech weapon module, I decided to go with target info gathering. So advanced seismic sensor, as you guys have probably heard me say 1,000 times at this point, allows detection and identification of enemy mechs via vibrations in the ground, must be stationary, 250 meters of range. So I'll be able to sense it, you know, based off of where the enemy is, and that is absolutely critical, especially given the limited range that I have with my SRM-4s. I need to know where every mech is, especially if they are within that 250 meters of range of me, so that I can get, target them and really nail them. So, along with that, the target info gathering, I want to gather information on my targets as fast as I can, and this decreases the amount of time required by 25%. Absolutely critical. You really know where those critical hard points are, where those critical components are, and you can zero in on them, take them out, hopefully get those kill shots even, and ultimately just move on from there. I can honestly say, this mech really does deal some punishment, and you do have to be careful. 55 points of armor in each torso is nothing to brag about with with this kind of mech, and 44 armor hard points in each arm isn't much to brag about either. But if you let off a salvo into any enemy mech, they will back up, especially because with the timing of everything, even when if you hit all the buttons at the same time, there are some delays based off of where the SRMs are coming from. So obviously wherever they're hitting, you'll see 8 and 16, and then you'll see another 4, and it's really awesome. So it kind of gives waves of missiles that just keep pounding into your opponents, and they hate it. They absolutely despise it. So hopefully we can get through all of our rounds of ammo. We have 900 SRM missiles to work with, and we could chew through it pretty easily if we keep using, our alpha. But again, we do have to watch our heat management. Consumables, Cool Shot 9x9, and the improved airstrike. Obviously, I want to keep this thing as heat efficient as possible. The 9x9 is a must, and then the improved airstrike just to support my team and obviously help us get into a better position. This is not by any means a frontline mech. This is more of a support mech. Once you start making that push, you stick with the assaults, and you can put a 77-point alpha into someone's torso, or even their arm or something like that. You're either shaving off components or getting those kill shots, because this thing really, no mercy. That's what I have to say. This thing does not have mercy by any means. So enough of me chatting. It is time to hit the battlefield, ladies and gentlemen. 3 rounds of gameplay coming up for you. Hopefully we can mix up between short range and long range, hot maps and cold maps. You're going to see it all here. Let's dive out there onto the battlefield as we speak and see exactly how we do. Alrighty guys, here we go. Our first round is going to take place on Viridian Bog. 38 degrees Celsius is the ambient temperature. But when you factor in the rest of the atmosphere, this map can get pretty hot. So we're going to have to take our time and make sure if we do use an alpha that we give ourselves enough time to cool down really before we even start chain firing. So hopefully we can display all of that for you guys today. But first things first, obviously we have to get to a better position on the map. So we're going to move forward here, obviously. But we want to keep checking out that mini-map, seeing where our assaults are headed. And we only have, it looks like we only have 2 of them. 2 Kodiak 3s. So we're going to try and stick with them as much as we possibly can. We don't want to get ourselves put in kind of a pickle situation where we're up front and they're sitting in the back and we're trying to get shots off and, not really getting much support. And we don't want to lead the charge either, so we're going to have to make sure that regardless of what we do, we have to take in every single aspect of this map into consideration. That includes the little hideaway spots, the peeking, poking around corners, up on top of the plateau. We're going to have to cover it all. And it looks like, so I do have some support here, but these guys are probably all long range, mid to long range if I had to guess. So I'm not going to make too big of an aggressive move. So I'm going to wait here pretty much for the Kodiaks to get, to group up with me. But in the meantime, while they are making their way over, I am going to check around the corner here in Bravo 3. There are scouts and, you know, mediums that like to come around this corner, and it looks like the rest of the team is going to come this way as well, which is nice. We are playing skirmish, so we don't have to worry about any other objectives other than, you know, killing everyone. So it looks like we're going to get one of the Kodiaks to come this way with us, which is nice. You know, a little bit of extra padding for us. Okay, we have a Timberwolf over there. So we are going to have to make our way back around, but I'm going to stick with this guy for now. If he decides to pick a target, we're going to go with him. I'm going to split a little bit here, because if I see any fire coming towards him, I don't want to be like right next to him. I want to give the guy some space in case he wants to move. You know, moving 100 tons is not an easy feat, so... Okay, so the king crab here, man, he is juicy looking. And if we can get some help on him, this would be pretty damn glorious. Ooh, we can probably get into his back a little bit, which would be nice. Yep, he's going for me. We're gonna take out. Oh, yes. Yes, sir. Really packing on some heat on that guy. Didn't really have much of a chance. Foxtrot is still chilling over there. We do have some seismic. There is someone in this carcass, the centipede carcass. So we are going to go in there and say hello. It's only polite, guys. Might be his little home. Hello. Hello. Oh! And that must be an XL engine, ladies and gents, because that's the only way that that guy would die from getting his torso taken off. And we still have our big boy next to us. This is perfect for us to capitalize on. Oh boy. And we had to do it just to get that final shot off before everyone else eats him alive, really. Woof! Man. Painful, painful awakening for some of these guys. That Stormcrow, man, he's gonna dip into our lines here if we don't take care of him pretty quick. Come here, sir. I know you want to play a little bit. We can lead him. Did I get him? I think I got him. Or at least a little bit. I'm gonna head up here. Sneak attack.
New target acquired.
Okay, so I guess he dropped down at this point. What is this guy doing? I guess that works.
Target acquired. Critical. Target destroyed.
Yeah! Oh my gosh, so maniacal. Wow. And we only used like a little over half our ammo. Jeez. 872, holy crap. 4 kills, 2 assists. 3 times did the most damage. Wow, 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 ladies and gents. That is fantastic work right there. And we were, again, the Bog is definitely a skirmish brawly map. All things taken into consideration. The choke points really are meant for, you know, short-range engagements. Unless you're up on top of the plateaus and you're doing like an Overwatch kind of role, you know, the rest of the fighting really comes down in between the plateaus, in the trenches, between the carcasses, as you saw. And once I saw that the score was around like 7-2 roughly, you know, then we kind of just took advantage and, you know, went off on our own a little bit. I had a light that was with me, so if I wanted to, so I was making sure that there was at least someone with me, because in case, I didn't see how many assaults they had left, and you know, some of the guys on the enemy team, they are pretty competitive, just from noticing some of their names. So, you know, you never want to go into a brawl by yourself and just get, you know, completely obliterated when he might have help with him, or he might be in a better position. He could have a better loadout or something like that. He could get range on us and be faster and get away and then use that range to his advantage or her advantage. But that was a great first round, a great starting point for you guys to see exactly how this thing maneuvers out there on the battlefield. It is absolutely devastating, and it's terrifying to look down and see, you know, when they target me, all they see are 9 SRM-4s lined up once they gather that information. So it's definitely, you know, pretty intense to look at if you're an opponent, knowing that you're going to get lit up, you know, with 36 SRM missiles at a time, even in sequence. And, you know, even on the alphas, you saw, like, the arms would fire first, and then the torsos and the head would fire last. So you could see it kind of in sequence. So it's just a constant barrage of missiles. And it's just, but besides the damage, the intimidation factor is just, you know, it's through the roof. These guys do not, and you're rocking the cockpit. They're trying to get their, you know, depth perception and their bearings back. It's just, it really is just very, very intense for anyone who's trying to brawl with you. So, great first round. We're going to move on to the next round. Again, hopefully we can mix it up a little bit between short and long range, hot versus cold. We're going to hop into the queue and see what the second round brings. Here we go. Alrighty guys, here we go. Second round is going to take place on my favorite map in Mechwarrior Online, HPG Manifold, negative 10 degrees Celsius to work with here. So we have the heat management and heat dissipation even further in our favor, even if it's very slightly. So we definitely are going to use that to our advantage when using multiple groupings of our SRM-4s here. So definitely take that into consideration while this match develops. But we are playing skirmish. We have nothing else to focus on other than beating up on the other side. So definitely my kind of game. I know everyone seems to think that that's the meta, but, you know, everyone has their own personal preference, and skirmish is definitely mine. So we're going to group up with our assaults. Again, we want to provide that extra support, that punch that could really help deliver some serious critical blows and help give us the advantage on the front line. So wherever we see them going, for the most part, is where we're going to go. There's one of the buddies in my unit, Ultra. Got a Legend Killer with us. And a guy up top, interesting enough. I'm going to pop up there. If we're going to take the top, I would definitely take the top, especially since I see we do have some assaults going up. UAV that I can't hit. Now I'm going to stick with the rest of our assaults here. I'm not going to make any kind of drastic moves in another direction.
New target. People critical.
He's been hitting my legs, surprisingly enough.
Target destroyed.
And there he goes. So I got 2 shots off on him, and as I said to you guys, you cannot do 2 full alphas with this thing, otherwise you will overheat. So you can do 1, and then you really have to start, you know, focusing more on chain fire. Thought I could get him.
Target acquired.
Get some shots down on these guys. Phoenix Hawk and the Warhawk. Okay, we're getting a lot of seismic here now.
New target acquired. Target destroyed.
Oh, there we go. Nice. Excellent work.
Strike online. Target acquired.
Okay, so we have a king crab here. He's getting beat up, man.
Target destroyed.
Yes. Great success.
And now let's go. Go, left around. T4, and over.
Feeling there's something gonna be over here. Let's check seismic real quick. Nothing. Alright.
Kind of on the side.
Take a peek up top. Just do a quick scan.
Push over the top.
Yeah, we're gonna push over the top. That's definitely what we're aiming for. I have some support to my right.
E5.
There are definitely gonna be some guys chilling over here. And there he goes. Kill shots, baby. Kill shots.
Acquired.
Use my cool shot.
New target
And he's got his
acquired.
back turned.
Peak level critical.
Go, go, go. Push.
Airstrike activated. New target acquired. Peak level critical.
And again, we have to focus on chain firing as much as we can. Thought it was going to work with the heat management,
New
but it looks like we
target acquired.
got a little
Target
too
destroyed.
aggressive.
Peak level critical.
Oh!
Target acquired. Target destroyed.
Wow. What an exclamation point to this round. Where is the last guy? Is he down below? I don't know.
Okay, last kill.
Center torso critical damage.
No, no, no.
Left torso critical damage. Left torso critical
No.
damage.
Help me! Oh, I got him! What a shot! That is a skirmish brawl. Look at my torsos. Oh my gosh, that is insane. What a second round. Oh my gosh, it was like chess. 5 kills, 4 assists, 2 times doing the most damage, 642 damage. Wow, man. Wow, wow, wow. I thought for sure I was done. I got some help, a little bit of help from that Phoenix Hawk. But when as soon as that Mad Dog turned his torso, I knew that was my opportunity to strike. And you could see a lot of the clumped damage between Bravo and Charlie Lance. T-Bone and Alpha Lance gave a lot of credit to, and I guess we had a disco on our side even, so that made this an even better round considering it seemingly was 12 on 11. Wow. Great work. A lot of fun, excellent round, but we still have one more round of gameplay to go through for you guys. Again, we're going to try and mix it up between the hot and cold maps, short and long range maps. Here we go back into the queue immediately, and I'll see you out there on the battlefields. Alrighty guys, here we go. Third and final round is going to take place on Crimson Strait. Definitely another heat neutral map. 24 degrees Celsius is the ambient temperature.
Sensors.
But it's also kind of a mid-range, long-range map from the get-go until the engagement happens. And a majority of the engagement does usually happen atop the platform, in the tunnel, and I think third place would probably have to give to the saddle. So we're going to make the best of it that we can. We're going to have to get into a position where we know we can engage from short to mid-range. And again, I am going to keep my weapon bay doors open. So that when I do fire off an alpha, that it's all the missiles that are coming out. It's not just, the ones that are engaged from the exposure in the arms, and then, kind of on a delay are the rest of the ones that are in the pods. So we're definitely going to take it from that approach. We have a light who is scouting, figures it's a locust, one of the fastest little guys in the game. And we have a friend that is engaging with him. And he's already down to 77%. It looks like they might actually be pushing the saddle. So even though I was talking about it being like a third place kind of option for majority of teams, it looks like they are going to engage from the saddle. Very, very interesting. I guess maybe some people just got fed up with the whole tunnel platform approach, and they instead wanted to go with the more direct, interesting approach, which is right over here. So if we see anything pop up over the saddle, we are definitely going to, take them out. Except for that locust. That locust is kind of annoying. That'd be great if we could get some shots off on them. If our team winds up pushing up... Oh, there is their team. Okay, good to know. take that down. Get a couple of them involved.
New target acquired.
Yeah. Does not want to play. Ha ha ha!
New target acquired. Critical.
And as I said, you cannot alpha more than once. I was trying to get a good shot off on him. And that really could have gone against us there.
Warning, incoming missile.
Is there a UAV above us or something? Interesting approach, I have to say. Very, very interesting approach. The fact that we are engaging at the saddle. Not one team pushing over. It's simply us engaging them. We're sitting literally at the hump of the saddle. Yes! Well, definitely keep drilling you if you want to keep poking your head up over the top. Got a lot of seismic. Oh! Oh, that was beautiful. He is completely neutered. So no one has to pay attention to that Thunderbolt if we don't want.
Target destroyed.
So I'll take it.
Critical. Target acquired.
And I'll take a chance to cool down a little bit. Ooh. I guess he was trying to get a little aggressive. But it looked like it caught up to him, unfortunately. That's a lot of tonnage that we just lost with that direwolf. And now his smoke cloud is deterring me. It's clouding my vision. Oh boy. No need to push up right now, especially if the rest of our team is kind of falling back a little bit. So we're going to fall back a little bit.
Also levels. Levels didn't execute. It wasn't executed.
Okay, so they are not engaging anything right now. They'll be on watch for the tunnel. We're going to stick up here with the rest of the team. I feel like that is where the majority of the support is needed.
New target acquired.
Coming up behind you, guys. Don't run.
Warning, incoming missile.
No. Is there a UAV? Yeah, there is a UAV up. UAV. Okay, so they're coming up behind us. We're going to take the
New
approach
target
of
acquired.
going this way.
Target destroyed.
He goes. Okay, so it is 5-4. We're gonna give them
New target
the
acquired.
saddle, and we have to, you know, play this tactfully. We have to approach it carefully. It is 5-5 now. But if we give them the saddle, open invite, we have to focus up. Hey guys, let's focus up. They're gonna push over the saddle. We're gonna need numbers. Don't worry about the locust.
First contact in the saddle.
Oh boy.
Critical damage.
Ow!
Left arm destroyed. SRM destroyed. Heatsink destroyed.
Yeah, he's cherry. He's gonna go down. What the heck?
Target destroyed.
Get out of my face. That garbage. An LRM Ebon Jag. You want to get my blood boiling, do that. Greatest mechs for the clans, and you're going to put LRMs on it.
Warning,
heck? Where's that coming from? How? I'm gonna stick with this Ebonjag here. He looks like he's got a good build. Gonna keep laying into him. Who is shooting at me? I don't even know who or what could be hitting me. Nope. Nope. Not playing that. I don't know where the last guy could be. I'm guessing it's that locust. This Timberwolf is actually going the opposite direction of where I was expecting him to go. Hello. Hello. Bitch. Oh, I'm such a dick. Yeah, I think that Captain Sasuke guy. Yeah, I figured it was a locust. Anyone know where they last saw him?
Yeah, I got 6 hits from D5 also. That line.
Need to stick with my amigos.
He's on the very peak.
Where is he? I just saw a PPC fly by. He must be over here somewhere. Okay, something just went past my head.
No, he's still up there.
Yeah, I think the best point at this, best point here now is just to go in the tunnel.
Yeah. We're still gonna win.
So at this point, it's kind of useless for us. We have a bunch of heavies that are running around. It's kind of stupid for us to sit here and think, you know, that we're gonna engage with a long-range locust when he's on top of a mountain. So you know what I'm gonna do here is chill in this corner and power down.
System offline.
Do you like the view of the cockpit, guys? I could stay, I guess, alive, or... Not alive, just, I mean, powered up. But, you know. I have no problem waiting this guy out, so... At this point, guys, if it does go towards the end of the game, I'm going to cut this part out so you don't have to wait for 4 minutes just watching my cockpit and my friends go around. So we will pick it up after the round is over. If it's over. Well, there he goes, guys. he just killed himself. We were in pursuit, and I guess he fell off the mountain or something like that, broke his legs. Can't really explain it. 731 damage, though. 4 kills, 3 assists, 2 times doing the most damage. What a round. Excellent round of gameplay for you guys, and a great way to close off this video. And to show you that even with a mid to long range perception of a map, you could still play your part. You have to be patient. You don't want to get over aggressive. You know, we knew that they were there on the saddle with us. We tried to counter it as best as we could. They tried to send guys around behind us to get, you know, shots off on us. We didn't bite. You know, our entire team didn't bite. We still had strength in numbers, you know, that were sticking on the front lines of the saddle. We took care of the threat that was behind us, and that kind of put the pressure on them to either make a move or, you know, just kind of sit back and wait for us to make a move. And they did make a move, and obviously it paid off more for us. But a great round of gameplay, great example of how you can even turn, you know, something that is considered short range, you know, brawly from, you know, thinking that it could only be beneficial on something like Mining Collective or the Bog, for instance, as we saw in the first round. It shows that you can use this kind of mech even in a different kind of scenario, a different kind of situation on a map that really you didn't anticipate, you know, being a map that could use this mech. So I hope that you guys took it from that perspective. I had an absolute blast. I love this build. I love this mech. I really am having fun with using that alpha on these guys. So again, make sure if you do want to use this build, just make sure that you practice a lot with SRMs, leading your targets, you know, maintaining decent heat management, and really working with it. It does take some time to get used to, so if you do decide to go with this build and it doesn't work immediately, well, you know, give it some time. Practice, play with it, have fun. The whole point of this game, obviously, is to have fun. So I'm just showing you guys some fun builds, some cool stuff that I take into consideration when I'm playing the game. And the fact that this is even possible, that's why I did it. And if it's, you know, I can configure this mech in particular to my play style, to exactly where I hold my standards for my mech, where, you know, the heat management threshold is attained, the amount of double heat sinks and the heat dissipation is there, and obviously that overwhelming alpha. Those are all things that I take into consideration, along with the speed, so the 84.6 kph, biggest engine you could fit. Really, this thing is fit to the T. It is ready to mess some people up. It's ready to fuck shit up, guys. Let's put it that way. I'm gonna say it. I'm just gonna say it's out there to really cause some serious harm. And if you don't get those kill shots, if you don't get those, you know, those one hit, you know, devastating rounds that you're expecting with it, you're gonna sever components. And hopefully it's the more critical components like a torso or an arm or something like that that holds a majority of their weaponry. And you know, that plays out for the rest of the team. If you can neuter a mech, they're useless. What are they gonna do at that point? Obviously, they're just going to be a roadblock. You saw that guy, he kind of just committed suicide after he realized he's not going to do anything else with the mech for the rest of the round. And he just ran forward. And that was great because, you know, I put that salvo into him. It really paid off in the end. I mean, every one of these matches, in some way, shape, or form, this mech took light. It took, you know, critical moments where, you know, it really turned the tide of the battle. To have those extra 36 short-range missiles impaling a target, along with the support of your assaults and other heavies, it really was demonstrated out there on the battlefield, and I hope you guys can appreciate it from that perspective. So again, this is the Archer 5W. If you enjoyed the video, smash that like button. It helps out a ton. If you didn't like the video and you want to give it a thumbs down, please let me know in the comment section why. I really like the critical feedback that you guys give, regardless of whether it's good, bad, ugly, great. I read it all, and even though I might not respond to all of it, and you know, especially in a timely manner, as you guys know, I do take it all into consideration. So I love seeing what you guys have to say, what your opinions are, and if you have this mech and you have a similar build or something that works better for you, I want to hear about it. So you know, I make these mechs built around my play style and what I like to put in them, and so the views and the likes and the comments and everything, really I show as you guys appreciating and agreeing with like the stuff that I'm doing. And this is just, you know, this is just my personal play style. So everyone is different. Everyone likes to do their own thing. And this is just what I like to do with my mechs, especially from a manual approach. These aren't streak missiles that I'm using. These are all manually shot SRMs. So you have to know how to lead a target. It really comes down to principles and skill level of how you can, you know, perform out there on the battlefield with loadouts like this. So in any case, that's going to wrap it up for this round. Thank you guys so much for tuning into the channel for this episode of Mechwarrior Online. Again, this is the Archer 5W, the missile boat loadout. Quirks obviously cater towards LRMs. That doesn't mean you can't use the SRMs, guys. So thank you guys so much again for tuning in, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Take care, guys. Well, guys, how about an extra round of gameplay? How about 4 rounds for you guys to see how I modified this thing to cater specifically to my playstyle? I know it's very unconventional. You don't normally see an archer out there with short range, but I'm gonna do it. Again, a 4th round of gameplay with the 5W. Here we go. We are on Alpine Peaks, and we're gonna do the best we can, despite the fact that this map is absolutely huge. So we're obviously gonna have to stick with the team for the most part, especially if they do long-range engagements. If we do get into a short-range brawly kind of situation, then obviously we will come into play a lot more. But one thing I did want to mention to you guys is the fact that if you were wondering why, when I use an alpha, all of my missiles do not fire, in case you guys were curious, the reason for that is because if you look at my mech weapon bay doors in the torsos, for those missile hardpoints in the torsos, I leave the doors closed. You can leave them open. I toggle them open with what's it, backslash. So you can do with it as you please. I usually leave them. I usually leave them closed though. The reason being is because obviously for heat management purposes, firing off 9 SRM4s at the same time is obviously a lot more heat intensive than it is by having them segmented, by having them stagger in their fire. Also, this also makes your mech taller. If any opponents do hit those open doors, that will cause damage to your torsos. So that's the reason why I decided to leave them closed. They're gonna fire off intermittently with after I fire off the first salvo from the arms and shoulder. So if you were wondering why, that's the reason why they stagger despite firing off an alpha. Looks like they are heading into our territory. Who else kind of feels like just dropping down into Indigo 9? Okay, I guess no one liked my idea. That's what I love the Sunday streams for, because you guys would be on board and we would just commit and roll them. No idea what's going on down there at this point.
Back up. You stay up top and kill them one at a time.
They will be making their way up here at some point. I mean, I could tell, but...
Seriously, all you gotta do is pull back. I saw one guy kill like 61 people.
New target acquired.
What is this in Hotel 9?
New target acquired. New target acquired.
He's coming after me. Hopefully my team is here to help.
Destroyed. Target acquired.
Keep firing those missiles on them. I kind of am at the front lines, but I'm constantly looking down at that mini-map just to make sure that I do have some support behind me. Which I do. Which I do.
Target destroyed.
Just gonna keep firing them off, baby. Yes! And these are some decent salvos that are coming out now. You have to be careful of those missiles if they are going to fire missiles on us and put down airstrikes on us. Oh boy! Yes.
New target acquired. Target destroyed.
There he goes. Nice. Got the assist on that. You want to play? Nice. Keep it up. Keep the pressure.
Target acquired. Target destroyed.
Oh boy. Well done. I only have 228 rounds left. No.
At 25%.
Yes.
Destroyed. New target acquired. Target
Oh, I thought I could get him.
warning incoming missile.
And surprisingly enough, we still have a sufficient amount of armor.
Target acquired.
Kappa.
Target destroyed.
Yes. Oh, I'm out of ammo. No. Well, I guess I'll serve as a distraction. That's just so many missiles. I think that's the first time I've ever run out of missiles. Totally worth it. Especially on this map. You wouldn't have expected that to be the case. I'm very curious to see how much damage was done. But I'll serve as a distraction for this, for the rest of these guys. It'd be nice to have a couple. There we go. Excellent, excellent round of gameplay, especially on a very unconventional map to even see this unconventional build. Man, that was a blast. 936 damage, 2 kills, 7 assists, 4 times doing the most damage. Holy Toledo, Kansas. And even then, some of the missiles I missed so easily, this thing can do over 1,000 damage. I have no problem defending that, so definitely take that into consideration. Oh my gosh, that was so much fun. I could probably fit a smaller engine in there, and then, oh no, I can't fit any more ammo because I don't have the slots for it, but I would have the tonnage, but I wouldn't have the slots. But, so really this is a perfect build for what I wanted to do with it. It's so much fun to use, and I really hope you guys enjoyed it from that perspective. It really was a ton of fun, and I had an absolute blast, so I hope you guys did too. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is the final part, I promise. There's no more footage after this. But I did feel like I needed to do at least one more round and see if we can mix it up so even more. Throw some more variables into the pot so that you guys can see that this thing really can cater to a playstyle seamlessly. And even on a map like Alpine Peaks, one of the biggest, most open range maps, you know, as long as the engagement happens where you would like it to happen and you let the fight come to you, your team will help you out and the rest will kind of fall into place. So hopefully you guys can appreciate it from that perspective. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode of Mechwarrior Online. I really do appreciate all the support and stuff that you guys have given this channel. It's just absolutely amazing, and I have all you guys to thank for it. So thank you so much again, and I do look forward to seeing you on the next one. Take care, guys.